Well. I'm scrolling through social media and I'm looking at the things with this guy, Travis Hunter, that played for Colorado football both ways. Great player. He got the Hispanic girlfriend and say they've been together since high school, 5 years or whichever. And he kind of feeling the heat from everybody that's trying to give him advice, and everybody is trying to, so say, have his best interest at heart. Well, let me tell you something from a male perspective, man. Especially from a male juvenile perspective. That man don't care nothing about what his mama saying. That man don't care about nothing about his daddy saying. He don't care about what his grandma saying. He don't care what his homeboys, his coaches. It doesn't matter who you are. In his head, that girl is his world. That's his everything. It's nothing that you're going to tell him that's going to change his mind or try to move him or remove her from him, and vice versa. You learn from experience, man. In life, you learn from experience. And he needs a person that's in his life that's going to give him pure, unadulterated facts and truth about how things go from a male perspective. If you're getting information as a male, it's only a few females will do this. It's only a few. But by nature, a woman gonna tell a man that's raising a man what a woman likes. She's only gonna guide her son or whoever her guardian or that child is. She's only gonna guide them according to her perception of a woman. Not saying that the things that that woman is telling that little boy or that young man is wrong, but she got to understand that everybody don't deserve the treatment that she's telling that little boy to, or that young man to give that woman. That's how we get the word simps is born. Because that woman has nourished you and told you, don't do this, always do that, always do this. And then that person is not reciprocating that back to that young man, but he's always pointing to that woman because of what the person or the female he looked up told him to do. He was groomed into that. See, that's the misconception. That's why males, fathers, grandfathers, uncles, some type of mentorship as a male figure is very important in a young man's life. I'm not going to say that a woman cannot raise a man, because a woman raised me. A woman cannot teach a man how to be a man. It's impossible. She cannot do that. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody do. I don't care what it is. A woman cannot teach a man how to be a man. She can only suggest and give opinions. Walk with me. This guy right here, Travis Hunter, man, he don't hear all that. You gotta let him learn. Unfortunately, it's gonna be a big mistake or a bad mistake. But just like I tell my sons, and a lot of people should understand as well, when you coming up from a juvenile to a young adult, the worst thing that you can do, especially in this society, because there's a lot of peer pressure on young men to go to that next level, if you know what I mean. Once you start getting sexually involved as a young man or a young woman, but I'm just talking from a male perspective. Once you cross that threshold and get sexually active with a young lady when you're trying to get your life together, at that point, that woman becomes a distraction. It's okay when you don't have nobody or you don't cross that threshold. There's nothing that's distracting your mind if y'all just talking. It's okay, because then that you're still focused on what you have going on. But if you're talking and then you get sex involved, the sex is a drug. That sex has a way to manipulate your emotions. Now, some people will admit to this, some people won't. Sex have you doing some things that you say you would never do as a child or an adult. And it's coming from males and females. You have to allow yourself to grow up and experience life. before you tie yourself down to one individual. Because once you get out there in the world, into the real world, and you feel like, and you see it's more than meets the eye than what you thought it was, that's when the infidelity come in. That's when the peer pressure come in. That's when the, I'm just saying. Now, he's fessing up for this young lady. He's taking up for her because he's head over heels. He's madly in love with her. She already said that you wasn't my type. And a lot of guys wasn't a woman type. You just the person that she ended up with because the one she really didn't want her. You was the next best thing. She telling you you wasn't her type, but when she found out who you was, all of a sudden you became her type. And this same young lady that done went into the DMs of an NBA player and put hard eyes with a money sticking out the tongue emoji on pictures. That's not fiance respect. That's not fiance way of moving as a woman that's married or trying to be married or trying to be with a man. You don't do that. That's totally disrespectful. She has made everything about her. This is supposed to be the happiest time of your life. You got the Heisman. You're going to the NFL. Things are looking up. And guess what you're doing? You putting your happiness to the side to defend her by the actions that she's doing over somebody else's. You see what I'm saying? That's taken away from your happiness. That's taken away from your spotlight to put the spotlight on her. I'm not saying that she's not the one for you, and I'm not saying that you're the one for her. But when you look at the situation and the actions of how people move, you can't ignore those red lights. You can't do that. Because once you start ignoring that red light, once you start ignoring, okay, that's a flaw or this or that, and you don't address it, and then you don't, you know what I'm saying? You're going to find yourself so deep into it to where you can't come out of it because you're so invested in it. And I hope this young man, I mean this to the bottom of my heart, man. I don't know this young man. I know I ain't nobody on his radar. I hope this young man, Travis Hunter, and I know he's emotionally attached to this young lady. I just hope that he don't get his heart broken to where he crash out. Looking at his actions, and I know he's in love with her, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have been in love head over heels when we was young in high school and even as adults. That we allow so much stuff to slide till we just, our morality and our character is just out the door. I'm just saying. I just don't want the young man to crash out because he's so in love and something happening to you, all your money gone, you know what I'm saying? Because this young lady is his world. He's young. You can look at him. He's young. He's green. She's everything. She said he used to drop her and her friends off to the parties, and he used to sit in the car while they was in there partying and drinking until they come out, and then he take them home. Now, that is a gentleman type thing, but if you had a certain type of man in your life to tell you, hey man, you think she'll drop you off with your friends and go into a party while she sit in the car? I'm just saying. Sometimes you got to step back and ask yourself these questions and question yourself and how you moving. Because sometimes we slip sometimes too. Hold on, man, I'm tripping. You got to check yourself sometimes. Even as an adult. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. There's no such thing as a perfect life, a perfect job, a perfect anything. None of that is perfect, man. You just have to make better decisions on the things that we go through in life. And it'll save you a whole lot of time. You gotta eliminate the distractions early. That way you can be where you need to be in your life. Because I know a lot of men and a lot of women will agree with me that's older now and say, I know you love your kids, but if you say, I wouldn't have had these kids so early, I wouldn't have had so many kids this early, I wouldn't have had this many baby mamas, I wouldn't have this many baby daddies, you could have been way farther in life than what you are now. Your life may be good, but your life probably could have been great because you was making bad decisions. Each one teach one, and that's all people are trying to do to him. But like I told people, he's not listening to that. He don't want to hear that, all that rah rah. Man, look, this is my woman. I love her. I don't care what y'all saying. He's a young man in love, and we all have been there. When your mama, your daddy, your grandma was telling you about this young man or this young lady that wasn't for you, you didn't want to hear it either. Y'all don't want to see me happy. Y'all don't want to, you see what I'm saying? History repeats itself. It don't matter, man. Life is life. We all go through the same things. It's just different individuals go through it at different times. But the game stays the same no matter what. The game is the same. I'm gone, man.